Previously on Dice Versa. Navessah, you see the Dralix and that other strange alien creature coming back across the bridge with the three Aslanti engineers in a single file line in between them.
What is taking that companion so long?
I'm not entirely sure myself. I'll try them again, and just kind of like looks at the people getting taken away. Out of curiosity, if I can inquire, what are your plans with the captives there?
I will let them go, eventually. But I'm afraid that thou hast not sufficiently planned thy infiltration of the prison moon. It will not be an easy task.
Alright, here's what I got. The dead captain in there. We go and take his outfit, put it on Navessah. We're prisoners, motioning to Ukko and Mishka.
This shalt alter thy appearance to make thee look more Aslanti. This is to cover thy expenses for any equipment or resources thou might need to help thy infiltrate the prison moon. A total of 5,000 UPBs.
Woo!
Allow me 1 hour, and then we shall reconvene, yes?
Very well. Where would you like us to meet you?
Here, I will be back soon.
Talmrin, wait! Do you have any contacts that have better armor?
Go speak to the Zarb. And then she disappears.
No!
So yeah, you go and approach the Zarb. He sees you coming and is just completely dismissive of you, even as you approach.
Alright, Ukko will do a little whistle to get his attention.
He barely looks over his shoulder at you.
Okay, at that, just punch him in the face-ish, whatever.
Okay, make an unarmed strike.
Kia! 21 to hit for 9 bludgeoning damage.
Jeez.
You just knock the Zarb back. He just gets knocked onto his ass. And you look around and everybody's looking at you like, what the fuck? Why did that dude just punch the Zarb? That's fucked up. Like, everybody's looking at you like you're an asshole.
Yeah, and Ukko is staring at the Zarb and doing his best intimidative stare. Like, it was cute before, but now I need something.
The Zarb clambers back to his feet and is clearly cowering from you.
Oh, no.
I feel bad. Ukko, We had some fun earlier, but now I mean business. What do you have?
Still leaning back, cowering from you, he gestures at the makeshift armor racks that he has and a few of the weapons that are like leaning against the wall nearby.
Oh, wow. This is straight up Aslanti armor. Elite military armor.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, damn. Wow. Spec Ops armor, designed for use by Aeon Guard specialists. Nice.
And if you wear that, there's going to be kind of a secret ability on it where all the Aslanti are going to want to kill you for defiling their armor.
Oh, yeah. Hey, joke's on them. I'm already an alien, so fuck it. After looking them all over, Ukko will point at the golem plating armor and look at the Zarb.
The Zarb skirts around you, trying to stay out of your reach, and makes his way over to the armor, and as quickly as he can, takes it off of the armor stand. You see him scan it on like a little comm, and then he taps on it a little bit, and he turns the comm around to face you, and you can see that it usually costs 1,600, but he has taken off 1,000 credits.
Oh, shit.
I am happy. Ukko looks at the price and then looks at the Zarb and kind of squints his eye, and then will tap his armor and point at the Zarb and then point at the golem plating. Like, this is the deal.
What armor do you have?
The hidden soldier armor.
Okay. He taps on the comm again, and then he turns it back around, and you see that he's taken off another 200, bringing it down to 400 credits.
It's pretty good.
I mean, that's really good.
Yeah.
All right. Ukko will hand over the 400 UPBs.
Okay, and he takes those and gives you the Golem Forged plating and gestures to a corner that he has set up as a sort of changing room area, and then just sort of like nods at you and as politely as he possibly can, like gesture for you to go change.
Then Ukko will change.
As you emerge from the changing room, you see the Zarb. He is awaiting you almost like a servant would await their master. And you see that he's holding a small item in his hand. And as you hand over your old hidden soldier armor, he hands you the small item. You recognize this item as a brown force field armor upgrade.
Whoa!
And as you take it, he like sort of nods down and like backs away from you again.
Ukko will give him the, you have earned a nod, and nods at him. It doesn't say that, just that appearance, and nods at the Zarb, and then walks away. And as passing, Halfred gives like, with the face like it was kind of fun, but I feel a little bad. Like, I don't want you to think less of me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Halfred, as you walk by, Halfred like pales a little bit.
Yeah, there go those friendships. All right. So Ukko will return in his new golem forged blading armor. And as he kind of walks in, just does a little sigh. I feel kind of bad, but
For what?
the Zarb knows I'm their alpha now.
Oh, congratulations.
I punched him,
Oh. Okay.
but got a great deal.
That's good, I guess.
Yep. Look, the Zarb had it coming.
So, Navessah and Mishka, what were you guys up to while Ukko was off, giving the Zarb what he had coming?
I think Navessah probably would have been curious about, like, whatever sightseeing Hassachir was trying to sell us on.
Anyways, as I was saying, Kashoria is home to the butterfly people known as the Desimar. My merchant friend, whom you inquired about earlier, is one of them. I wonder if he just returned home. In any case, it is supposed to be quite a spectacle to see the colorful wings of the Desimar against the violet auroras that make up the atmosphere of their planet.
If we get the opportunity, it would be lovely to go see.
Yes, I envy you. I do not think that I will have the pleasure to see it myself.
Let's make sure that we stay in touch. We can send you a comm video.
He nods slowly. He says,
That would be wonderful, thank you.
after a short while, you hear some scrabbling up in the pipes above, and Talmrin drops down into the cantina. And she walks right up to Mishka and pulls a couple of items out of her blue and silver jumpsuit. And she hands the first one to you and she says, "This is the ship's transponder, which of course will make thy ship appear as the relic to any scans." And then she hands you the second item and she says, "And this is a weapon seal of spell throwing, which shouldst allow thee to use the spell gem that is held within. The gem contains a spell of disguise, which shouldst allow thee to appear fleshy for a short while."
Would that make me look like a human?
Yes, for a short while.
Oh.
10 minutes only. But yes,
Well, that sounds very useful, actually. Thank you.
indeed. And since it is in the weapon seal, thou shouldst be able to use it regardless of thy magical capabilities. Quite a useful device indeed.
Ah, perfect. Thank you very much.
Well, if you can do that, do we need to go get some of the engineer's clothes or...
No need. The magic within shouldst allow thou to change the appearance of thy garments along with thy skin tone and, well, everything except for thy shape and size, which is why it wouldst not work for thou, large one.
Are there any tall Aslantes? Maybe he could pass us
Oh,
up.
no, just let's do the prisoner.
Have you ever seen a human his size? I have not.
I have not either, but I figured, space is big. Maybe there was one out there somewhere.
I think Talmrin doing that might help with you two bringing me in as a prisoner.
She says, yes, and I have something to help with that as well. Do not worry, I have not forgotten about thou, big one. And she comes over to you.
Aw.
She hands you this small, holographic sticker, and she points at the trident on your back, and she says, "This shouldst help concealeth thy giant fork of screaming."
Fork of screaming.
That's a good description for it.
So this is a glamoured fusion seal, which lets you change the appearance of a weapon.
Can that make it invisible, or just he can disguise it as something else?
So it won't turn invisible, and you can't change the size, but you can change its appearance. So you might have to get a little creative with it.
Alright, here's what we can do. Perfect plan, trust me. Navessah, you can carry my sword, and if I need it, I can call it. Bam, done. I can put this sticker on my trident, my screaming fork, and change it into something else a little less conspicuous and might be able to pass inspection or something until we need it. And maybe you, Mishka, could take the shadow staff and carry it and hide it on you when you go woo woo woo.
I can try.
Is the plan for both of us to try and take you in as a prisoner? Because we're only going to get 10 minutes of Mishka's disguise.
Yeah.
I don't know how sustainable that plan could be. I don't know if we want to use it for the initial infiltration or have it available in case of emergency. What do you think, Mishka?
Yes, I'm not quite sure. I don't know the layout of the prison. I don't know if there's heavy security all the way throughout, or is if it's just at the entrance, you know?
Would the relic have anything on its computer since it was going there?
Of the prison layout?
Maybe, I don't know.
I do not think so.
Or at least the procedures. You wouldn't happen to know if their security is all throughout, or is it just at the entrance?
It is a maximum security prison. I assume that it is throughout.
You know, people keep saying that. I'm starting to think it's, like, really hard to get into.
Yes, this will certainly be a difficult mission, which is why we must plan ahead. But I have something that should help at least a little bit.
And now she approaches Navessah and produces another item from her pocket and hands it to you, Navessah. It's a plastic keycard. And she says,
I found this upon the relic. It should grant thou access from the prison's cargo bay into the cell blocks at least. That is one obstacle thou shalt not needeth worry about, yes?
Yes, no, that'll be extremely helpful. Thank you.
That could work. Yeah, the reason I brought up the whole being disguised when we go in is, one, I feel like it's more believable that the two of you remain after capturing me versus just the captain taking in both of us.
Yes.
With no other crew.
I agree. You have a good idea for once, big one.
This is like the third time, so it's kind of becoming a common recurring,
Third time in your life.
Yeah.
Got him.
I'll get back to you.
Let us discuss the security that thou should expect upon thy arrival. Of course, there will be guards and security cameras. There will also likely be security robots that thou shouldst be aware of. Additionally, any tampering with their systems will likely be noticed, so I recommend using extreme caution if thou must access a computer while in the prison. Lastly, and she looks at you, Ukko, if any guards are to go missing for too long, their absence will certainly be noticed. Dost thou understand?
So we'll try to leave combat as a last resort.
Combat should be avoided at all costs.
Yes, very well.
Hey, are you leaving us any cargo to actually bring them?
I will put something together.
Do you think, then, if we're going to avoid combat, would it not be better for Ukko to just wait on the ship?
Perhaps. However, if things were to take a bad turn, thou wouldst find thyself without the big one's muscles and penchant for violence,
Yes, I wouldn't want to get caught out without Ukko's support.
So, it looks like we can either go in, I'm the prisoner, get in there, we can get to Sedona pretty easy as a group.
Yes. As a prisoner, they will likely send thee to the cell block containing the alien species, which is where our friends are likely being held.
But getting out as at least 2 aliens may be a little difficult.
Not 2, 5.
Yes, we're retrieving your friends as well.
Right, your friends as well.
Yes.
There you go. So, there's that. We're all together, but now getting out's even harder. Definitely a scene. Well, if I'm not with you, and I'm just waiting, the two of you could probably get in there a little easier, and potentially get out easier, but if there's trouble, I wouldn't be around.
I think 10 minutes will be enough for us getting entry, but depending on how deep in the prison are and how many checkpoints there are, I don't know if 10 minutes will be enough for us to get in and get out unnoticed.
How many of those disguise spell gems do we have?
I have a couple, but again, they can only be used on a person's self. So I wouldn't be able to maintain your disguise, and I believe you only have one use from that weapon fusion?
Right, but can I not take another one and use that second one when this one runs out?
Yes, I believe Hafred has more if thou desires.
Yeah, it sounds like it might be best for us to increase the amount we have if Hafred has any more for sale.
I'll pick up some more from her later then, once we figure things out. Do we have anything that can perhaps create distractions?
Hollow grenades!
I do have some hollow grenades, and I also got a good amount of spell gems of charm person, so we can befuddle some guards if we need to change their minds, where words won't work.
I have a sedative.
Oh, if we maybe we can trick some of them into drinking them.
I think first and foremost, we gotta decide, are we gonna go with, I'm the prisoner, or am I waiting?
I believe you should be the prisoner. This will get you into the cell block quicker.
Yes, I'm more comfortable with that plan as well.
Alright, and we're fully aware things could go sideways pretty quick.
Oh yes.
That is the theme of this entire mission, no?
To be anticipated.
Yes, and then I guess from there we'll try to distract, hopefully use any hollow grenades, or do you have any perhaps remote hacking tools that perhaps I can use to, create any further distractions in other areas?
If I had more information about the prison's systems, perhaps I could put something together. However, I'm going in nearly as blind as thou art.
Well, how about any tools for remote hacking? Do you happen to have any like that?
I am no technomancer. I know of no remote hacking devices, as thou sayest.
Very well. Well, I can't think of anything else that might arise from the situation.
You know anyone that's been to Gulta?
None that have returned.
Yeah. Maybe we could ask the engineers some stuff.
Yes, that's true. Perhaps we can interrogate the engineers that we captured, get some more information from them.
Yes, perhaps. Though it is unlikely that they would know any specifics about prisoners, they should at least know the general protocol to expect.
Well, what do you guys want to do? Do we just want to go and hit it, or are we trying to learn more? There's still those creepy spider pirate people at the gambling nook we could somehow utilize, I suppose.
I don't know if they're going to help us infiltrate the prison.
That's fair.
Well, in any case, it sounds like thou hast thy plan in place, at least the major parts of it. I'm going to go get to work on the ship, to start masking that pesky engine signature that thou Pacties are so fond of. Unfortunately, it will take me a couple days, as I shouldst only work during the station's sleep cycle, when the gawkers in the dock are few.
And at that, Hassachir speaks up, and he says,
I may be able to help with that. I am fortunate enough to have access to a private ship dock here upon the station. You may work there uninterrupted. In fact, if you would not mind, I would like to take a look at the ship as well. Perhaps I can come up with some ideas that could help you in your mission.
That would be wonderful, thank you.
Good. Come then, let us move your ship.
and Talmrin scoffs and she says, I shall meet thee there, as she disappears up into a pipe.
Do we want to, ask her to maybe, see what's going on with Cooper?
Yes, that is probably a good idea, actually.
I mean, she said she wasn't an expert on computers. She was an engineer.
Well, it's all kind of the same, right? I mean, I know something about engineering.
Technically, not really.
Oh.
I mean, it couldn't hurt to ask at the very least.
That is true. Couldn't hurt to ask. You're absolutely correct.
Alright, so Mishka will head over to the Sundering Eclipse and meet them there.
Alright, so while we're on the ship and just sort of switching docks, Ukko will step over and be like, hey, Hassachir, what's the deal with Talmrin? She seemed a little, sketchy about the ship.
flying, coming with us? Why didn't she just join us?
He just sort of like nods slowly as you guys are approaching the airlock, and he lifts a small stone up next to his head, and you see that stone begins glowing with a bright orange light and begins floating in the air and slowly orbiting his head. And he says,
I believe she is not a fan of this next part. Personally, I find it invigorating. Now, helmets on.
and as you all secure your helmets, he gestures for you to open the airlock, and you see a few of Ukko's unsecured items fly out of the hatch as the atmosphere vents.
Oh, damn it!
And they spin through the vacuum of space towards the glowing force field that leads into the dock. And Hassachir presses a button on a small remote control, and you see another of those bridges extend out from the side of the station, and it comes all the way across. And after a few moments, the bridge reaches the edge of the cargo bay, and Hassachir presses the button again to make the bridge stop extending. And he takes a very confident step out and begins walking easily across the small bridge. And as you all step out onto the bridge, you can feel that light magnetic tug on the soles of your shoes. And you see some of Ukko's items just sort of floating by lackadaisically through space. And you see a memory stick float by, and you can see on the label it says weapons and stuff. And stuff is in quotes.
Ukko's like, come on. And he like has his trident out for an extra 15 feet or whatever. He's like, come on. Reaching for the memory stick.
Can I like reflavor my telekinetic projectile to just pull them down and just telekinetically deliver them to Ukko?
Sure. You reach out mentally, grab the few small items within reach, and pull them towards Ukko. They become within reach, Ukko, as you fish at them with your trident.
There you are, Ukko.
Thank you.
He puts the stick, the memory stick, in his backpack now, like make sure it's secure, and then the body temperature can of space beer he had in his pocket, he puts back in. Like that, those are the two priorities thus far, and then the sort of random loose items, some bacon. And,
Yeah, it's nothing really important, you know.
yeah, he just kind of picks them and puts them back in his little like pockets.
So you gather all of your loose items back, at least the ones that were in range.
Oh, there go my memories.
A few strides later, you guys pass through the force field and into the dock, and you hear the sounds of the station ring out in stark contrast to the silence of space. And with effort, Hassachir gestures to the large room, and he says,
I purchased this dock when it became clear that I would no longer be leaving the outpost. It is the only place where I can get regular shipments of my treatment, you see.
And he points toward the far wall, where you can see a pile of crates stacked underneath the 10-foot catwalk. And inside of a couple of the crates that are open, you can see like large containers of that cloudy red liquid that you've seen him dip his arms into. And he says,
There is likely no cure for my condition, but at least I can ease the discomfort a bit. A few hours without it, and the itching becomes quite intolerable. But enough of my complaining. Please make yourselves at home. It will take some time to look after your ship, after all.
Thank you very much.
yeah, and he leads you to the steep set of stairs over on the western side of the catwalk. And he motions for all of you to go on ahead. And just as you guys are approaching the stairs, Talmrin's furry face appears over the top of the staircase.
Jesus Christ!
As she sniffs at the air before saying,
Yes, enough time hast been wasted upon that damnedest bridge. Thou shalt bring it closer, and we shall
Hey.
begin work.
Talmrin, why don't you like space?
None of your business.
Fair.
and Hassachir says,
I am sorry, my small friend, but I cannot make the ship come any closer to the station. Safety protocols, I believe. But come now, it is not such a bad walk. I will escort you while our friends get settled.
I'll carry you.
Ukko just extends his arms.
Talmrin backs away from your reach, Ukko, and sniffs the air, and she just glares at Hassachir for a moment before sighing and clambering down the staircase, still avoiding you. And you can see now that she's carrying a small toolbox. She says,
I'll need a stone,
Of course, you may borrow this one.
Hassachir reaches into his pocket and produces another small stone which he holds beside Talmrin's head, and that stone also begins glowing orange and orbiting Talmrin's head, just like the one Hassachir has. And Hassachir now turns to the rest of you and shoos you guys up the stairs.
Go on, find a place to make yourselves comfortable. It will be a day at least.
Do you need assistance? I can help with some engineering if you like. I know the ship pretty well, as, it is mine.
I can lift stuff.
If you do not need to rest, very well, but
He sort of looks you up and down.
you do look a bit tired from your previous foray.
You really do.
There will be plenty of time to work on the ship. Get your rest now and come join us later.
Very well. Also, I don't know if either of you two know anything about, AI and virtual interfaces, but our ship's computer AI has been acting a little odd lately. I don't know if you can help or anything like that.
We did have a little technology ghost, but I killed it. There may be more.
I don't know if that's quite related.
It was a glitch gremlin, by the way.
Yeah, tech ghost. Ooh.
But I think that's beside the or at least not relevant to what's happening to our ship computer.
I would be more than happy to take a look. I am certainly no expert, but with our combined efforts, however, we may be able to discover something.
If you can, that would be great, but if not, I just figured I would ask anyway, just in case, but I appreciate it either way.
Yes.
Talmrin says,
Yes, we shall take a look. We do not want you going in there with a broken artificial intelligence, do we?
Just don't hurt him. Alright, Cooper's cool.
Yes, and Mishka will message Cooper and register Talmrin and Hassachir and all that.
okay.
Make sure Cooper doesn't try to murder them.
You see Talmrin paw her way over to the force field, and then she stops and pops open her toolbox, and Hassachir walks over and joins her and watches as she takes each item out of her toolbox and says its name out loud, then places it back where she found it. Screwdriver? Yes. Wrench? Yes. Data jack? Data pad? Yes. Yes. Very well. Just wishing to make it sure that I hast everything needed before crossing. I do not wish to cross more than needed. And she looks through the force field at the distant Sundering Eclipse, and then lets out another large sigh. Let us get this over with. And she waits for Hassachir to get a few paces out ahead of her before she takes her first hesitant step through the force field and makes a slow, terrified trek across the bridge.
You know what? I smell trauma.
If you like that episode, please consider becoming a channel member. You'll help us make the show, and in return you'll get bonus content like deleted scenes and commentary for every episode, and mailbags where we answer your questions, and even exclusive live streams if you want them. So if you can, please click that join button below and help support the show. Thanks. See you next episode.